This is Just Incredible and Samantha Not Important, bringing to you today the ancient news. Today we have a special segment surrounding King Tut and the history of his unfortunate death at such a young age.
King Tut died at age 17 in 1323.
He died in 1323 BC.
Akhenaten, his father, was
His father, Akhenaten, was extremely unpopular among the ancient Egyptian civilians because he introduced a new god and basically did away with all of the other ancient Egyptian gods.
We're not really sure whether his mom is actually his half-sister or his mom.
His mom could have possibly been his half-sister or his mom or both.
So now let's go to
Neha, who is interviewing Miss Jamie DeMario, an expert on King Tut himself. To you, Neha.
So, I'm here today with the expert on King Tut's death, Miss Jamie DeMario. So, Jamie, how long have you been studying King Tut's death?
I've been studying his death for a long time, almost like 30 years, actually.
Interesting. And can I just mention really quick that we actually have King Tut's mummy with us here today. Pretty interesting, right? But, I mean, he's dead, so it's not like he's going to do anything.
He's not going to move.
Alright, but still pretty interesting. Okay, so I've heard that there are a lot of theories surrounding how he died. Can you share some of those with us?
Well, of course we'll never know, like, the real cause of death because, you know, it was thousands of years ago. But we have lots of theories, and I'm here to share 3 of them with you today. Like, there's one theory that he's been murdered because he's a pharaoh, everyone's after his throne, and, you know, and his father was very influential in Egyptian society, not in a good way. And there's also a theory that he died from gangrene as a result of a broken bone, which he got from, apparently, falling off his horse. And there's another theory that he died of malaria, and at the time of death, like, he died, he was not in good health, so this definitely weakened his immune system enough that he could have died from malaria.
Very interesting. And he had a broken chest cavity, I understand?
Yes, when he fell off the horse, that's another theory that he had a broken chest cavity.
All right,
but that also could have been since when they first dug him up, when they first found him, they did play a lot with his body and tamper with it, so that definitely made a difference in how we look at his body.
Right. So they've done a lot of tests on his body. What kind of tests have they done?
Well, when they first got him, they did an X-ray, and that's when they realized that he had a lot of fractures, a lot of injuries, yeah. And then they also did a DNA test because he had a lot of diseases, and they wanted to see if any of them were hereditary or anything like that. And they also did DNA tests to see if, and they found fetuses in his tomb, and they wanted to see if they were his, and they were. And they also did a CAT scan.
Wow. Children very young. What was he, 17 when he died?
Yeah, around there. He was around 17.
Around that age? Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, wow, a lot has been, put into this. He's been a really huge significance on history.
He has been. He was not the most famous Egyptian pharaoh. He is because he was the only one who hasn't been robbed. There's been mummies found, but he's the only one where all of his artifacts are there and they're valid.
So that's really the big thing about why he's famous.
Yeah. And that's another reason why, because he was so rich, that could be another reason why he was murdered. Because they did find a hole in his head, but they don't think it's because of murder. It's because maybe during the mummification process when they were doing the embalming and stuff.
Oh, so they put the fluids through the head, right? Yeah, I heard about that. Okay, so that looks like all the time we have. So thank you, Jamie and King. Where'd he go?
Sorry about that. I've had got gauze in my face for a couple thousand years, and I haven't talked in a couple thousand years, so my voice has been a little scratchy, and it's hard to see with gauze in your face. But just so you know, I'm King Tut, and to sum up, I've led a pretty interesting life. I mean, I think so, at least. I've had my share of problems. I mean, I've had malaria. My mother could have been my half-sister or my wife. I had a limp, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the list goes on. But I've had my share of accomplishments also. Like, I changed my name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamen. And that basically put it out there that I was a follower of Amen, not of Aten, which was the monotheistic god that my dad tried to put in place for Egypt for all of Egypt to follow. But Egypt wasn't so enthusiastic about that, so when I came into rule, I changed the monotheistic society back into a polytheistic society, and people were pretty happy about that. I mean, I could toot my own horn a little bit there, and also I was the only mummy not discovered until recently. My tomb was in the Valley of Kings, and basically every other tomb there has been excavated or robbed by grave robbers, but I wasn't discovered until 1922. Well, that's why there's so much interest in me. What can I say? I'm a pretty popular guy, but I was a pretty influential pharaoh, if I do say so myself. Well, that's it from King Tut. Goodbye and good night.
That was Jamie's phone.
No, Jamie's on the phone. Shut up.
Okay. And then they did a DNA test to see if his heredity was the result of the disease. And to see if his...
Dominic. Look at him. You can't look at him.
What?
She's looking at you and laughing.
Sam!
I will
No, don't meet his demand.